In a normal chord you go do, mi, so or do, me, so. That's technically called root position, when the note do, which is the name of the chord, is on the bottom, or it's the lowest note. When you have inversions, the notes are the same, but the lowest note becomes a different one, either mi or may, or so. So if we choose this chord here, which is F, this note, we'll put our scale in, do, ra, re, me, mi, fa, fi, so, they, la, te, ti, and do, and then we choose do, mi, and so, we get an F major chord in the root position, because F is do, and do is the lowest note. It's the note that's the most to the left on the keyboard. Same thing if I make this a minor chord, do, me, so, this is an F minor chord in root position because do is the lowest sounding note. Here's what that sounds like. Root position chords sound very stable, and they're the most commonly used type of chord. To make a first inversion chord, we follow the same process, but instead of starting on do, we start on mi or may, depending on if it's major or minor, then we go to so, then we go to do. Here's an example of the same chord. So we started on A for F major, F for F major, it was do, mi, and so. Instead, this time we're going to go mi, fa, fi, so, le, la, te, ti, do. Mi, so, do. And here's what that sounds like. It's got a slightly happier and more lively feel, but it doesn't sound as complete. We would call this chord F major first inversion, because F is do, it's a major chord, but mi is on the bottom. The same chord but F minor would have may on the bottom. May, so, do. Here's what that sounds like. It's F minor first inversion. F is do, it's a minor chord, and may is the lowest sounding note. The second inversion works the same way, except that instead of do or mi/may being the lowest note, so is the lowest note. So, then do, then mi or may. In this key, which is F major, we would start on so, then we'd go to do. We've run out of syllables that we've already written, but that's okay, I'm just going to write more. Do, ra, re, me, mi. So for F minor, we need may. This chord is F minor in the second inversion, because do is F, it's a minor chord, and so is the lowest note. Here's what that sounds like. Second inversion chords sound even less stable than first inversion chords, and definitely much more unstable than root position chords. Here's the same chord, but F major instead. So this one is F major second inversion. F is do, it's a major chord because it has mi, and it's in the second inversion because so is the lowest sounding note. Here's what it sounds like. The seventh chords work the same way, except they have another inversion because they've got another note. So I'm going to make a chord on C, scale on C, so Do, Ra, Re, Me, Mi, Fa, Fi, So, Le, La, Te, Ti, Do, and I think I'll do the whole lot so that we have more notes on the end. Do, Ra, Re, Me, Mi, Fa, Fi, So, Le, La, Te, and Ti. For a C dominant 7, we would use Do, Mi, So, and Te. Here's what that sounds like. For the first inversion, I would instead make it Me or Mi, So, Te or Ti, and Do. Mi, So, Te, and Do. This is C dominant 7 first inversion. C is Do. It's a dominant 7 chord because it's Do, Mi, So, Te, and it's first inversion because Mi is on the bottom. For a second inversion chord, we go So, Te or Ti, Do, and then Me or Mi. So in this case that would be So, Te, Do, and Mi, G, B flat, C, and E. This is C dominant 7 in the second inversion. C is Do. It's a dominant 7 chord because it's Do, Mi, So, Te, and So is the lowest sounding note. And then if we want to do the last one, it will become Te or Ti, depending on the 7th chord, then Do, then Me or Mi, depending on the type of chord, and then So. That would go like this. Te, Do, Mi, So, or B flat, C, E, and G. This is a C dominant 7 third inversion. C is Do. It's a dominant 7 chord because it's Do, Mi, So, Te, and it's third inversion because Te is the lowest sounding note. This is the case for all the 7th chords. It just depends on whether it's Me or Mi or Te or Ti.